Armour, Rio Olympics show it's time for USA men's gymnastics to change ways. Rio de Janeiro, mediocrity is no longer acceptable or excusable. While the U.S. women are set to collect the first of what will be many golds at these Olympics, continuing their 6-year stranglehold atop the sport, the men stumbled to a 5th-place finish yet again. For those keeping track, it's been 8 years since the men won an Olympic team medal, 32 years since it was gold. And the people at USA Gymnastics seem to be just fine with that. How else to explain the lack of accountability for the men in the years between games while Martha Karolyi holds the women to an exacting standard from the day one Olympics ends until the moment they are standing on the medals podium at the next? Martha's got it right, U.S. head coach Mark Williams acknowledged Monday after they finished more than 2.5 points off the podium. "We've got to figure it out so guys aren't flustered by anything and it's just a day at the office. Watching the women's team last night was so impressive. It was amazing. We want to be like that. But it's never going to happen until the people running the men's program swallow their pride and acknowledge that Karolyi might just be onto a thing or two. Established standards that have to be met at every single training camp. Regular, high-stake mock competitions so gymnasts can handle the pressure when it counts. Cohesion among the personal coaches and national team staff in both developing routines and re-evaluating when they're clearly not working. Coaches who specialize on each event on the national team staff. There is a reason the women steamroll the rest of the world, and it's not simply because Russia has been decimated by injuries and Romania is in disarray. Living up to Karolyi's expectations is so nerve-wracking, so demanding that competitions, even the Olympics, are the easy part. "I thought we were ready," Williams said. "We've got to get out there and handle it better right from the beginning. This is not a question of talent." The American men were second in qualifying, ahead of new Olympic champion Japan, and earned 8 spots in the individual event finals. 4 years ago, they were the top team in qualifying. But when the pressure was on, when it really counted, they faltered. "I know we all did everything possible in the gym to be ready for today," said Jake Dalton, who along with Chris Brooks were the only Americans who didn't have an error Monday. "We've done what we needed to do to be ready." Don't put the blame on Williams, either. He's only been responsible for this team for the last 6 weeks, not nearly enough time to reverse the culture. Yet he managed to make some inroads, running the team much like he does his ones at Oklahoma, where Sooners won their 7th NCAA title under Williams this year. Lineups were based on performance, not potential. Sam McCulloch's Cover Your Eyes and Pray High bar routine that resulted in major errors at both the national championships and Olympic trials was tweaked for one that was more reliable. Lo and behold, guess who made the high bar final here? No, this is, and has been, a systemic failure, and USA Gymnastics needs to think long and hard about exactly what it wants out of its men's program. If it's content to let the women generate all the interest in gymnastics, to say nothing of the sponsor dollars, go ahead and let the men keep doing what they've been doing. But if it wants to grow the sport and make it more appealing to the general public, which in turn would make the federation even more financially successful, something has to change. Yes, the men have won 9 medals at the World Championships over the last 4 years, most since the late 1970s. But that only resonates with the most die-hard of gymnastics fans. If the men are ever to have even a fraction of the rock star recognition the women do, they need to have success at the Olympics. And by success, I mean a team medal, preferably a gold one. Unfortunately for the men, the current system doesn't give them the best chance to succeed. It keeps them mired in mediocrity.